When I heard that Double Eleven was making their first original game a while ago, I was quite curious as to what they would make. Why? Because in the past, all their games have been ports and working with other developers. For example, Rust Console Edition, developed originally for PC by Facepunch and then ported to Xbox and PlayStation by Double Eleven. So this would be the first time Double Eleven created an original IP. Well, now their first original game is finally here. I was lucky enough to get a review key for Blindfire. Before playing, I had watched a video from Hefty Smurf playing it, as well as the cinematic trailer that was posted by Double Eleven. I was curious as to how the gameplay would be. I was very skeptical of the idea, but I thought I should at least try it. You know, I like Double Eleven since they did the Rust console port. I played a lot of Rust console, so I thought I should try it. So let's go through the concept just in case you haven't seen it already. Blindfire is described as a unique FPS in pitch black arenas where you have to rely on sound and high-tech gadgets to find and kill the enemy. That is my paraphrasing from the Steam page for Blindfire. Now, if you do like the game from the gameplay being shown, or from my thoughts in the rest of the video, you can go ahead and look in the description. I'll have all the Blindfire's links in there. And if you are a content creator, I will also link the tweet which has the link to get a review key, just in case you want to give the game a review. I did run into some issues straight away, unfortunately, with the Steam version. I was not able to play the game. I got an error. The game wouldn't respond, and then if I closed it, I'd get an easy anti-cheat error. I did report this on Twitter, and I received a response very quickly, telling me that the team would be working on the issue. I then joined the Discord, and I did put it in there as well. And Will from Double Eleven, who I've actually been playing a lot of Blindfire with, replied quickly, said, I'll tell the team about that tomorrow morning, because it was around 10 PM for D11 Studio in the UK. So no one was in the office to work on the issue as I reported it. After a day or two, the devs provided some steps that should have solved the issue, but unfortunately it did not solve the issue for me, and they're still looking into this issue at the time of writing. I believe they said it could be something to do with me having an AMD GPU. So there is a bit of incompatibility there, but hopefully that'll be fixed soon. While I was unable to play, I took a look at their first dev blog for Blindfire. I was impressed by their roadmap. It has a good amount of detail as to what we will see and when these updates will come through the rest of the year and Q1 2025. Not just the next one or two updates. Something I would like to see, though, would be a more in-depth look at pre-release development, optimization, features, ideas, all that sort of stuff. It would be very cool to see the evolution of the game before release and some of the challenges that took place in the development of the game. Also during this time is when I created the r/Blindfire game subreddit, along with Lix, who is already a mod for the Rust console and Blindfire Discord servers. The next morning, I jumped on the 1 hour trial on Xbox. This game actually has a 1 hour trial on Xbox or Microsoft Store, and I saw some developers were playing in the Discord, so I jumped on my 1 hour trial, played a couple games with them, and it literally made me buy the game. Like, I already got the Steam copy for free. I could have waited for that to get fixed, but I actually bought the game because of these couple of games that I just played. My first thoughts were that it was different, but definitely fun. And the devs who I was playing the game with were also fun to play with, along with other members of the community. A couple of the Discord mods played with us, a couple of prominent members of the community. It was just so fun that I had to just buy the game to keep playing. Now I want to go through what I think of the game a bit more in depth after playing for some more time. The gameplay itself is very interesting. Each round can play very differently, and dead people can play a role with the traps, which hopefully I have some footage of. It's very interesting, and it adds another dimension to the gameplay, where even if you're dead, you can still have your team, or in a free-for-all match, you can sort of pick and choose who you're going to help and not help to try and get your way to the top of the leaderboard. In addition, I also found that I was having like a lot of fun, even if I was doing bad or losing. Usually, if I play like Siege or Rust and I have a big loss, I'm very annoyed with that, But in Blindfire, I don't know if it's because the lacks a competitive mode right now or what, but I was having so much fun and not worrying about the sort of competitive nature of it. It was also really fun to play with the developers and other members of the community in Discord. We had like a nine people in a voice chat, and there's 8 people in a lobby, so we had too many people for one lobby. But when we did get into the same lobby together, like 7 or 8 of us, it was very, very fun. Um, we call in one of the devs, Will Nilpla, because he got no points in one of the grounds, and you know, stuff like that. It's just so fun. There's so many sort of things that you can do with your friends. It's a very great party game, in my opinion. The kill cams can also be quite funny. It recreates the kill cam. It's not actually like a replay. It's a recreation. So that can also create some weird things, like people riding bullets until they hit a wall and then go and poof and dying, or people flying up a little bit, or even shooting through pillars, but that's just a visual bug in the replay. The bullets don't actually do that. But yeah, other than that, overall, I think the core gameplay feels very good overall and makes these other things also stand out a lot more, because if it was just a terrible game with a funny kill cam, then it wouldn't stand out that much, but obviously overall it stands out quite a lot. Controls are a thing I had a couple small issues with. There were 2 bugs that we found in our sessions the last couple of days. The first one I found was that if you press the menu button or escape to see the menu while you were in an intro cinematic, the game would not show your cursor, so you had to have to wait till the round starts to be able to get rid of the menus or to get actually in the settings and stuff. The second one was noticed by Hefty Smurf when we were playing, and that was that the big light that is on some of the maps, the light of Sauron, I think that they've called it, it's much slower to move left and right on a controller than mouse and keyboard. But both of these issues have been reported to the devs, so they'll most likely be fixed soon. Actually, today, at the time of recording, the first patch has just been released, and a lot of the bugs that we have noticed within the few days have already been patched. However, these ones, I think the reports came in a little late. There's still a few bugs being patched that we've noticed the last couple of days. Related to the controls is the movement. Overall, the movement is quite slow. It's slower than most games, but honestly, that's to be expected considering you're supposed to be quiet and not give your position away. And the movement didn't feel janky or anything. It felt pretty good, just a bit slow. And when you do sprint, it feels very good. Honestly, the only complaint that I had about the movement was sometimes the sprint, when you actually press the button, it would take a couple of seconds to sprint. I haven't been noticing that too much, but I do notice it a little bit. That has been shared as feedback in the Discord by me and one other person. So they could change that as well, but it's not guaranteed, obviously. Performance is okay, as expected from an Unreal Engine 5 title. It is very GPU heavy. But unlike some Unreal Engine 5 games, this doesn't use much of the CPU actually. While recording at a very high quality using my CPU encoder, I was sitting at 20 to 30% usage on my Ryzen 5 7600. So obviously that's a recent CPU, but it's 6 core, lowest in the product stack apart from the 7500F. So it doesn't use too much CPU. You could get away with a pretty low tier CPU here, but it does use a lot of GPU. And on that note, the graphics do look pretty good. With the gameplay being in the dark a lot of the time, it's hard to see a lot of the graphics, but in the later stages of the rounds, when there is more light, it does look pretty good. Also, in performance sort of category here, the ping. I have not noticed ping at all. Like, the developers are based in the UK. I was playing with them from New Zealand, which is usually 300 to 350 ping in other games. I think Rust's console's about 320. I was completely fine. I didn't notice any ping. I think I had one time where I got shot and I thought, that was a bit behind the wall. But honestly, I've only noticed it like once, and I've been playing with a lot of people from the UK, so like complete other side of the world, you know. The sound design also seems pretty good. I have no complaints about the sound. It matches the visuals, not visual from Siege, visuals pretty well, as you would hope for this type of game. You know, the footsteps seem quite accurate. There were no issues that I experienced, at least. The menu music also seems quite good. I usually turn off the menu music, but I think I'll keep this one on. It's not bad at all. The last thing in this section that I want to comment on is the community. I've already mentioned the Discord quite a lot. It's pretty active with devs and players, which gives the game a good community feel. You know, I'll see people in the game that I know, and I'll be able to see GG afterward in the Discord and say, "Oh, that was a good one. You got me there," or, you know, all that sort of stuff. And in addition, the Tell the Devs channel on Discord is absolutely fantastic for suggestions and feedback. I've actually made a few suggestions recently. Um, I'll just get it up here, and I'll be able to see. So I suggested an official tournament when custom games come out, which is supposed to be December if their roadmap doesn't change. I suggested that the FPS target rate setting should be renamed to FPS limit because it could be confusing. Target rate could, you could think it's changing graphic settings to hit this FPS, but in reality it's just an FPS limit. Yeah, and just overall stuff like that. And I've gotten responses from devs, whether they be in form of reactions to my post or actual comments as well. So they are looking for feedback, for suggestions, for bug reports, all this sort of stuff, because they are going to actually listen to the community, which is absolutely amazing. A lot of our suggestions have already been, creating discussions over at the 11. Some of the devs have said, they've been noted and we'll talk about it. And I think there might have even been one or two suggestions that have been suggested in the Discord that the devs have been, yep, we're going to do that one. So that's absolutely amazing. They also have a bug report Google form, which is great. So they can collect all the bug reports in one place and then take note and fix them. As well as that, there's obviously the subreddit, which is currently not very active, but hopefully that'll get more active over time once more people play the game and more people, posting clips and posting questions and all that sort of stuff. The only unfortunate thing I'd say with the community at the moment is it's quite small, so that can lead to some higher matchmaking times. I had a stream the other day where I was trying to matchmake and I got to I think 6 minutes and then I requeued for another 2 or 3. Quite a lot of the time it's not too bad, but just sometimes around the evening for me, when there is no one from the UK really on and I think US is probably asleep too, then it can get a bit dead. Hopefully that'll fix itself when more players come to the game. Overall, I'd say Blindfire is an absolutely amazing game with a great community. I would encourage you to at least give the 1 hour free trial a go on Xbox or the Microsoft Store for PC players. Then, if you like it, you can buy it. It's on Epic Games Store, Steam, Windows /Xbox, and it will be coming to PS5 later. I don't think we have an ETA on when at the moment, and it's also not a very expensive game. I think it was like 13 New Zealand dollars for me, something like that. It's not very expensive, so it's a great game to get a whole bunch of friends on, have a good fight with your friends on there. An absolute ton of fun playing Blindfire, and even the developers who have been working on it all day still play it during their free time in the evening, which I think is a pretty good endorsement. Every person that I've talked to, apart from one guy I saw on TikTok, I think, who has played Blindfire, has absolutely loved it, and I'm excited to see where they go from here. Well, this was my first game review. How did I do? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and I've also been streaming Blindfire on Twitch, so go watch me there as well.